We're not going to become Venezuela. Why did they stop talking about Venezuela all of a sudden? Because Venezuela is a socialist country, and the socialist says we better stop talking about Venezuela and get that off the news, because we don't want people to get smart and say, you know, if we become a socialist nation, we might become like Venezuela. Remember, I talked about this numerous times here, and I keep saying it. 40 years ago, Ted Turner said we need to remove 90% of the population because they're burning up our resources, like the resources are more his than mine. No, we're all equal. You might have a bigger bank account than me, but we're all equal. Because you know what? There is more than what we see. There's a whole presence that most people don't even know. They're unconscious. And that's what the problem is. If you lived your life that what you do wrong, you're going to pay for eternity, you're going to live your life a whole lot different than you are now. It's that simple. And it's not going to be, you know, guys with horns and fire and brimstone and golden gates, the pearly gates. It's not going to be like that. Okay? That's religion. Spirituality is different. You could have everything and still be in hell. And then you could have nothing and still be happy. So, monetary things aren't everything. It's how you treat people and how people treat you. And I'm telling you, we're feeding on each other. Politicians are feeding on each other, and they're trying to rally the troops. Now, here's a big problem I have. You're going to get, sometimes people are not mentally sound. They may not be, who knows. But some people are not mentally sound. And if you keep talking to them and talking to them and talking to them, well, if you get them angry enough, there's going to be a problem. And I truthfully believe that the progressives are pushing for civil unrest. Because most people, if they see civil unrest, they're going to back down. If they're not part of it, they're going to back down and say, you know what, you're not going to be like me and say what I believe, whether my life is in danger or not. I don't care if my life is in danger. You're not going to change me. I said this numerous times. You can't change me if you put me in prison. You can't change me if you beat me up, if you threaten my life, or if you kill me. I am going to be who I am for eternity. It's just that simple. I believe what I talk about. Okay, I went to prison because I wouldn't back down. Now, how many people do you know could say that? Was it smart? I don't know. But it was the honorable thing to do, not to back down. Because if I'm telling you from 2013, you should stand up for yourself, do this, this, and this, and then I'm looking at going to prison for something I didn't do, but because people have power to do it, well, should I back down and then everything I told you was a lie? Or should I take my beating and be who I am? It's that simple. You cannot beat out of me who I am and what I believe in. You can't change my mind, even if it costs me my life. You are not going to change my mind. I may alter my decisions on what I see, but it's not going to be altered because of a threat or something you're going to take away from me. That's not going to happen. So, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, anybody wants to call 775-751-2579. And what I'd like to say is, for some reason, when somebody's talking on the phone here, somebody else calls in to make noise in the background to chop up what they say. And we have phone numbers on where it's happening, and that will be dealt with on another time. But why don't you have a little respect for yourself? And are you afraid? Are you MSN or CNBC that you're worried what happens on this radio station? That you have to disrupt what people want to say? Wake up. Smarten up. We're going to a break.
Support for KPFK.
Yeah, I got the phone number who was calling.
Every time the phone's ringing, the same person. That's a wireless caller. I haven't hit one. Hit all 3 times in a row. No, it's our 7 at work. I have to put them on hold.
More information at 702-540-09.
KPFF is like down here.
That's 702-540-09.
Okay, well, you have to go to 2 minutes until we're off the over break. Can you hang on?
All statements heard on this station
Okay.
are that of the program.
You know, there was this guy I studied with for years, and Rodney too. He says there's everything in this man but him himself.
I'm going to host a show Sunday evenings at 7 p.m. called Lazy Dog's Front Porch. Why don't you come on by, roll up on the porch, pull up a chair, and join me. We're going to have a good time. We're going to chat about this, that, everything else.
Now everybody can hit star or something else. Their number that show. That's why I was afraid of you doing that.
Sunday night, 7 p.m.
Before we could catch them.
KPFF.
That's why that doesn't happen.
Hello, listeners. Want to know what talk programs are broadcast by KPFF? The KPFF program guide is now on our Brump Film Festival website. If you want to see what's coming up this week on KPFF, just go to www.brumpfilmfestival.org. As programs are added or changed, so will the guide. That's www.brumpfilmfestival.org for the best talk programs in Pahrump.
This is White Willie here. You know me from Friday night from 7 to 8 on KPFF 97.7 with the White Willie Show. But guess what? I also have a Monday night show from 7 to 8 o'clock every Monday. New program, new information for you, the listeners. So tune in to the White Willie Show Fridays and Monday at 7 p.m.
on KPFF Pahrump.
Okay. Yeah, Mike.
This is 97.7, Pahrum's community radio station.
And welcome back. Pure communication. I got somebody's on the phone?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, caller.
Anthony.
Yes, it is. Who's this?
Yeah, this is Bruce Russell from.
Uh-huh.
I just have one comment. You know, I'll tell you something. These Democrats just still haven't gotten over the fact that President Trump beat them at their own game. You know what I mean?
Yep.
All the millions of dollars they spent, they can't believe that he could come from nowhere and beat them at their own game.
Yeah, it's true. And the problem is they're really worried that he's going to get a second term. They're really scared with that.
They just still can't get over it.
I know.
One of these days you're going to understand what's going on. You know, when he whoops their ass in 2020, then they're going to understand, hey, what's going on now?
Mm-hmm. Well, let's hope that happens because I think he could still do a lot more than he's doing. He has the capability. He just needs Congress and Senate to work with him. And I'll tell you, I'm very disappointed in Mitt Romney. I never really liked him, but he's a big disappointment.
No. Right. But you know what? He's done so much for this country. Look what happened to the last 8 years before him. My God, this guy just ran this. I'm a military guy, and he just ran this damn country down. Depleted the military. I mean, literally.
Well,
And, you know, the president thinks the world of the military, which we have to because that's where we got our freedom from, and that's where we keep it from. You know, that's why we keep it.
Right.
And this guy just let it run down so bad purposely because he's, as far as I was concerned, a Muslim. Didn't really give a shit about this country, so he just let it go, you know.
Okay. Yeah. Do you use the VA?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And how do they treat you?
Well, for the most part, good.
Okay. Because I have a friend of mine now, and he's 85, and he has a kidney problem. And they're just running him around. He's not getting an appointment until April 19th. This guy is in pain. And he, what do you call it?
Why are they running him around for what?
I don't know. I took him there once. He didn't get there until 3. They said his appointment was at 2. And then my friend Sonny stood with him because my car broke down. And they were there in the emergency room until they didn't get back to Pahrump until 11 o'clock at night. And now he went from the emergency room. They gave him some medication, and they says you can't. We got an appointment for you April 19th. And I don't understand why that's happening. This guy's 85 years old.
Yeah, that's what it is. I've seen so much of that stuff, you know. And I've been using the system, VA system, because I don't have any other insurance. I've been using it for the last 20 years.
Right.
Actually, 30 years. Because I used it when I lived in Michigan for 10 years before I moved to Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
And for, you know, for the most part, I can't complain.
Right.
They take care of me. I'm 75, and they take care of me pretty well. And if I have complaints, I know who to go scream to. You know.
Okay,
because
good.
I believe in the squeaky door getting the oil.
Right. Now, do you go locally or do you go to Pecos, to the hospital at Pecos?
Well, no, I don't go to this clinic here because the only thing this clinic is good for is a Band-Aid and blood test.
Okay. Okay.
That's about it.
Right. Right.
That's all they do there.
Mm-hmm. So,
if you want anything other than a Band-Aid or a blood test,
you better go to
the
Pecos.
one in Vegas,
Oh, yeah.
the big hospital.
Okay. Yeah. Now? Did Veterans Choice go into effect yet?
Oh yeah, and that's a joke too, because it just takes so long. The whole idea is if you have an appointment more than 30 days, you use Veterans Choice, and they supposedly set you up right away with an outside doctor.
Okay.
Well, that right away sometimes takes 60 days.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
So hurry up and wait.
I know, but they're not doing what they're supposed to do.
Right.
In other words, it's supposed to be, if you have something over 30 days, you go to them, and they'll set you up right away with an outside doctor. Well, they don't set you up right away. It takes them 30 to 60 days to get things lined up.
See, and I don't understand why that happens, because if you go to the emergency room here, I don't understand why VA wouldn't just cover it.
Right.
You know, I think the system needs to be better. I don't know because I'm not a veteran. The war ended, Vietnam War ended like 6 months before I turned 19, so I had a very low number, so I was probably going to go, but they ended the war before that, so I missed the draft. I still have my draft card, 1A, but, you know, I kept it.
But they never drafted you.
Never drafted me, no. No,
You got friends like that.
they were winding down, yeah.
I did my 6 years in the Marine Corps,
Okay.
and I just feel that the VA owes me something.
They definitely do.
It's nothing less than a care.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm not looking for any money or anything, but I do want the care. You know what I mean?
Right. See, and everybody owes you something, even if it's not money, but they owe you respect for doing what you did.
Right.
You know, that's why.
I agree with that. You
Yeah,
know.
they do. Because a lot of people...
I don't look for it. You know, I just...
Right.
All I care about is that they give me some decent care from the VA, and for the most part, they do.
Right.
This Veterans Choice, I think, so far is a joke.
I don't think they got it in place yet, but I wish they would move faster.
No, it's in place. It's just that they don't know what they're doing.
Right.
You know, you think the government doesn't know what they're doing. Veterans Choice is just as bad, if not worse.
Right. I've been there numerous times with friends of mine. I have 3 of my friends that I've taken there that are veterans.
Yeah.
And I think the service could be a little bit better.
Yeah, you're right. All right, Dante, thanks for your time.
And thank you for the call. You have a great day.
You're welcome.
And thanks for your service.
Bye-bye.
So, yeah, I think the Veterans Choice should be moving a little bit faster. That's one thing I'm not happy with Trump is he said he signed this thing. I want to see it work faster. You know, if the president signs something, it should happen. It could happen overnight. I don't see why it can't happen. You know, if the door, you know, our doors are open here because it's beautiful out, but if you can't get in and out of the door on the right, well, then go in and out of the door on the left. You can make that change that much faster. So I want to talk, I'm going to jump to, they had a thing on TV, on the news, that they were talking about the happiest cities in the country. And Vegas came in 155, Henderson came in at 114, and I don't understand why. We got a call? Okay, let's change gears to the call. Caller, go ahead.
Hey, Randall Flagman here.
Hey, buddy, how's it going?
What happened with Frankie Boy?
Frankie Boy.
Frankie Boy in New York? You're from New York, right?
Yeah, that was an accident there. They didn't whack the guy. It was...
10 times an accident, huh?
Yeah, right?
Got 10 times.
Yeah, it was over an argument. And you know, a funny thing, Gene Gotti just got out of prison. He did 29 years for the heroin deal. And they were saying that he did this to make a move on the guy because now he's out of prison. He wants to take over the Gambino family. And when they found out that the guy who shot Frankie Boy, he turned around, it was over an accident, and Frankie Boy got a little sarcastic with the guy, and I guess the guy was a 24-year-old kid. He got mad, pulled a gun, and shot him.
Yeah, 10 times.
Yeah, and I don't think he knew who he shot.
Well, what they said on the news last night is they found out that Frankie Boy had a female relative, and he told this guy to stay away from her.
Oh,
That's what
okay.
they said on the news last night, so I don't know where it's going.
Okay, so it was a domestic violence deal.
And then he supposedly, they shook hands and everything. So maybe he knew the guy or whatever, but that's what they said on the news last night. That
Well-
a female relative, Frankie Boy, told this guy to back off.
Okay.
And somehow this happened. Now, I don't know how far that's going to go, but,
Well,
I think it's like 35 years between whacks over there, right?
yeah, it's been a long time. Yeah. Well, I think Castellano and what do you call the other guy? I forgot his name. I knew him. That was 36 years ago. I couldn't believe when I heard 36 years. I said, "Wow, 36 years!" I couldn't believe it was that long ago.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, let me say something about locally. I know Sheriff Worthy was talking at the Republican deal.
yeah.
Everybody's applauding her for the Second Amendment.
I know.
Which is wonderful.
Yeah.
But what's going on with these motorcycle cops? They're stealing money from all the people with these bogus tickets they're given. They've got a speed trap or whatever kind of trap you want to call it by the Mormon Church.
Mm-hmm.
They're videotaping cars that don't come to a complete stop.
Mm-hmm.
The motorcycle cops get a block or two down the line, and then they go to court and pay the fine. I mean, this is, in Illinois, these things are illegal, and I don't know how Worley's getting away with it out here. And these courtrooms are loaded with traffic violations. I sit in on Monday and Tuesday, and it's like 90% of the people in there for traffic violations, and they're paying bigger fines now, too.
Well, I'll tell you why.
Applaud Worley that she stands up for the Second Amendment, but that's not good enough for me.
Well, and that's true because they really don't know. I listen to the people talk, and they were thanking her, and that's why she walks around like she's walking on water. Okay, and I said before that she's actually walking on top of a septic tank.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay, because that's gonna come back soon. But you know what? She's not gonna go for another term anyway. So she don't
not,
care.
but I mean, it's what's happening right now.
Of course.
Like I pointed out on some shows, like when she was running, all of a sudden they were stopping cars and she was giving away Christmas hams or whatever.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Turkeys, whatever.
Yeah. I like to see the bill on what credit card paid for those turkeys and hams.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm telling you, this county needs a giant forensic audit. I mean, to follow every check on what was purchased and who got the money. A good forensic audit. And you'll see heads roll. And I was talking to a friend of mine, and remember I said we're still going after Coonsey and everything, and there were documentation that was being read that Coonsey was a defendant for with Nye County on some underhanded stuff that went on in 2018. He was out of here in January of 2015. He's still involved in court stuff that went bad in Nye County. And my friend has 50 banker boxes full of papers that has to do with Nye County. And I'm telling you, friends from New York and Florida are working on this with me really strong.
Well, Coonsey was one of the few Democrats that elected.
Well, of course he was a shoo-in. Look who he replaced. I mean, Beckett only got 360 votes, if he got that.
No, he ran against Ron Kent. Ron Kent won the northern part of Nye County by 600 votes, but Coonsey took Pahrump by like 840 votes or something like that. So it was about 200 votes, 180 votes that Coonsey won. But Nye County would have been, the district attorney would have been Ron Kent.
I thought it was Ron.
No, Beckett wasn't, he didn't clear the primary.
Oh, he lost in the primary. He only got
They were
300.
in a vehicle
Oh, okay. Yeah, it was a shame. 20 years and he went down like, just horrible.
Well, he's working out of Vegas now.
He's a public defender.
He's working out of Vegas.
I see him on TV. You see him as I see Timothy Treffinger on TV as a public defender.
Wow, jeez.
And that was the guy who did all of that stuff, and I brought that video to Angela and a whole. Oh yeah, and they love him over in the DA's office over there.
Yeah, he got diversion, meaning it went away after he did some probation, and
Yeah.
like it never happened.
Yeah.
Well, his girlfriend, they sent her up to Smiley Road for 2 to 5 years
Yep.
for the same thing.
For the same thing, yeah. He got
Well,
diversion.
it's not fair, Anthony. You know it. I mean, you served time for something that was completely ridiculous. I mean, it was upsetting to me to know you were up there. And then the way you were, like when we talked, the food, you couldn't tolerate the food. Thank God for apples, because
Yeah.
people without teeth would give you their apples. You lost 25 pounds.
Oh, I lost more than that.
Situation,
I went.
When somebody's innocent, you were found not guilty on all charges. This bogus thing that they pinned on you.
Mhm.
I mean, but like I say, life is not fair.
I went from 210 to 158. It was more than 20 pounds.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. It was really, really something that you survived the battle, but you did.
Yeah.
Congratulations for that.
That's because
I
I get.
accept Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior. I ask everybody to keep the faith, power to the people, and once again, we saved the Tigers 4 times. Let's hope they don't come after us again. Raider Flagman, over and out.
Have a good day, Ray. So I want to just say, talk about something silly I saw on the news. A woman was in a park walking her dog, and another dog came up to her dog and humped it, and she called the police. Now, why would you call the police for something like that? I don't understand. Was it a female dog, so she belonged to the Me Too movement? That they had to report that? But don't you think the police have more to do than get a phone call about a dog getting humped? Okay? Listen, if you live in Nye County, you're getting humped every day by the government. So why aren't somebody calling somebody about that? No, they stay quiet. Okay, just like Ray talked about the tickets. The tickets are ridiculous. Okay, this is ridiculous. She didn't need a new car. I mean, Tony was driving an older car. His people, when he was sheriff, his people had better cars than what he was driving. Because he didn't think he was the king. He knew he was just the sheriff. Okay, there's your problem. Okay, this person is driving around in new stuff on our dime. She shouldn't be driving anything better than her people that work for her. Okay, when I was in business, I swept the floor and cleaned the bathroom in my office. Because I didn't expect somebody to do it if I wasn't willing to do it myself. There's no reason why she's got to be driving around in a new car. It's ridiculous. That's a power play. And these people in power have to stop doing that. You're just another human being, maybe. Okay, so I just wanted to talk about that, about the dog being humped. That was stupid. And that's what the problem with people are. The cops are not there for everything. They're supposed to be there to serve and protect, okay, human life. Okay, I was talking about the ruling class for the last 2 weeks. And Trump was at a CPAC meeting. And he was talking about the ruling class.